Hello there everyone, happy summer. I am back from a trip, so my video is a little bit late showing you what I colored this month, but these are all the books that I colored in this month for July 2025, and I'm excited to show you some of what I've done. So let's get started. We set these aside and go through them one by one. I've also tried some new materials, which is kind of exciting. All right, so first, Dark Fairy Tales by Kerby Rosanes. And I have started back in with the very first illustration, Rapunzel. And you can see right away that I've already kind of started this one, but I just did the background at the same time. Let's see. This was a buddy color with Shira, and she is at Shira D, and I'll put it up on the screen. And she is on Instagram, and we did a buddy color together, and she did a collaboration post, which was wonderful. She took care of all the details for me. But she has hers up there as well. They're both very different. So she did an evening sunset type darker scene, and I did more of a morning, early in the day, sunrise type image. And I did red hair, she did blonde hair. We did ours very differently, but also many things the same. So I will put hers up here, and I will move mine over so you can see them both. I absolutely love Shira's page. I love that she's got this beautiful galaxy sky, and things are kind of magical and glowing in that forest. And it's a nice contrast so that you can still see the prince and the witch stand out against it. And then also, I love the beautiful blooming trees that match Rapunzel's dress. I think that's just beautiful. Great job, Shira. I love your page. I have done red hair, and I initially started with kind of a strawberry blonde hair as I intended, but as I did the shading, it got darker. So we have a red, and I wanted the purple or bluish purple dress, and not because Rapunzel in Disney wore that color, but because I really like that color. I did want it to not match the pink too much. So, and I wanted the background to kind of fade into the background with all of these trees. So they're very like natural in color and not too vibrant. I wanted them to kind of fade into the distance and be a little bit more just, well, part of the background. Anyhow, so this was a wonderful time. We are going to continue with the buddy color. We both enjoyed this. We like talking strategy. We like talking about materials and color back and forth on Instagram. So I've really enjoyed that connection. We do have a big time difference. She's in Europe. I'm on the East Coast of the US. But we have just decided today that we're going to go next to this one. So this is our next coloring buddy color, and that we're coloring together. And it happens that I have already colored this page. So I do have this page to use as inspiration for continuing my color palette, because I do want to continue. It's going to look like her. And then the decayed part of her face over here could be turning into her. So we'll see how that goes. This was with Albert Durr's. It was my first full Albert Durr like page, and I'm getting used to the colors. So I did miss my powder blue from my Prismacolors by doing entirely in Albert Durr's. But I kept them dry for like 98% of the picture. So I will probably do the same here. Although a face, I can kind of see through the other page. And I think that's just from the printing. I don't think that's the coloring, that's just the printing. So I'm gonna need to do something opaque enough to color that face. And I want her face to be so smooth that I may do pastels. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to that, and that is a plan for August to continue in this book with Shira. Okay. Next, I have Fragile World by Kerby Rosanes. And this book I started just recently with the butterfly. I was actually inspired by Shira with Ink and Hue. Oh, come on, let's open. Yeah, so I was inspired by her. I looked up how to do this butterfly, this endangered, beautiful butterfly. And so I did this page in the same Albrecht Dürers. I'm still trying to get used to them, get used to the colors. Again, missing my powder blue. So I may have to just get an extra powder blue and stick it in with that set because I don't feel like the blues get light enough. I feel that way about the lavender and the pink as well in this set. But I did enjoy this. I do love the coloring. I do still really want a black glaze jelly roll pen that I cannot get anywhere. I have black gel pens, black ink pens, black permanent markers, black Prismacolors, black Copic markers, everything black, but not a glazed shiny, which is what I want. So eventually I'll get that at some point. I may have to, I've also been trying to find a clear. Can't find a clear. Can't find any of the glaze pens. So I thought I had found two to order and ordered them. And when they arrived, they were Stardust. So somebody didn't know what they were doing when they filled my order. So anyhow, I love the hibiscus. I love hibiscus. I had fun with this sky. It's actually a very similar sky to my last image I just showed you over in Dark Fairy Tales. It's kind of trending to be my favorite background right now. That pink to pale yellow. So this came out really nice. I'm really happy with it. Once I get the black, I will complete that part of it. Oh, and I just realized I never did the little bit of orange, yellow orange with the pollen on a couple of those, but I will get to that. So next, I followed along with Shira of Ink and Hue, and she is doing a color along with this entire book. So I am following what she's doing, where she's going to start with the title pages. So I've colored in my little baby sea turtle hatching. I've added in, I did him kind of dark. They always just look so dark to me in the image, and I don't know that it's too dark or not, but I still like him. And I added in a kind of sparkly sunny beach in the background. So let's see. Then moving on, I did the nameplate page, illustrated by Kerby Rosanes page. Once again with the sunset. I kind of like that pink to yellow thing, but I did add a lot of purple into this one. This was a lot of fun. This took a very long time. There's so many flowers. Some of them, by the end, I was just guessing at some of these little ones. But I did look up this one. I think that's Echinacea. I did look up the pitcher plant, this stinky flower, bird of paradise, Venus flytrap. Assuming those are black-eyed Susans. Anyway, looked up many of these. It is a little bit of a texture for the background. Did not blend these with water. I did have a weird spot in my paper here that is doing something weird. This poor book, it's brand new, and I've already damaged the cover. It had a little mishap in the car, got damaged on the corner. I don't think that's what happened here though. That was just a rough spot in the paper. But anyhow, I am very happy with this. I did use a reference for the background for the sky. I will insert that here if I can. I can't show it on my phone right now. I'm recording with my phone. But anyhow, I will insert that so you can see my reference photo. And it's not exact. I just kind of took it as inspiration. And then after that, I did the kind of a description page with Kerby's block stamp here. And I was kind of disappointed because when I watched Shira talk about the book and show a little bit of a flip through, Shira from Ink and Hue, she had it's almost like flipped or flipped quarter turned or a combination of that somehow on this side, and I only have it on one side. This page is blank for me except for the copyright information. I did probably shut it too soon, and I got some of this ink tints on here. So what I may have to do, because that's not erasing, is I may have to just draw in a little bit of a corner like this, draw in a few fish, fill them in silver like these fish, and color some more blue, and then match it. So, but I really like how this worked out. This is all Inktense pencil. Tiny bit of metallic watercolor paints. That is these, the Arteza watercolors, and I love how those were working out. They stayed right on top. They didn't show through anywhere. So this got really, really wet. That's probably my problem with this page, is this got pretty wet when I was blending it. But I was trying to make this whirlpool type flowy water effect. And I'm noticing that my Inktense pencil doesn't dissolve as easily as the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s. So, but getting a lot of variety in that from the Arteza. I really like that. And that made for my silvery fish and metallics that you see on here. And I really like that. Like how that worked out. So next will be this page. So I've already got a little bit lined up for me for August. The snow leopard. And I'm hoping that when I look him up, he's far enough north that I can do a, and this is a lot of natural colors if I do this right, according to nature, with everything with their correct coloring. Not a whole lot of color in this. It's very neutral. So I'm thinking a Aurora Borealis for a sky would really add some interest here. So we'll see how that goes. So next I have Rita Berman's Hidden Oceans. I just recently got this book. Most of you know that this just recently came out in the US. The US and English version of her book that's already out in Europe, with English translation, of course. And it's a little bit bigger, which I like. So I did several things in here. All right, so first one, well, I didn't do it in this order, but I did several double page spreads here. This is the book that I took with me on vacation for a week, and it was in a tropical place, so it seemed very fitting, and I knew I would enjoy coloring things in it. I took a number of materials with me. I took my Albrecht Dürer pencils so that I could have the variety of either watering. Okay. So here's a Sea Turtles double page spread. I did take a few materials with me on my trip. I knew that the theme would be good. I knew that this theme would be good because I went to Bermuda. So on that theme, I knew that I would be happy to color a lot of the things in this book. And it's summer, so I want to continue with this theme. Now, the materials that I brought with me, I took a white gel pen, but apparently I should have taken a new white gel pen. This one's on its last leg. It has been used in so many pages, but I wasn't paying attention. It's kind of low. Didn't work so great. So I will probably go over that again because I can still see some scratchiness here and there, and so I'm going to need to do a little more with the white. But I wanted to show too, this is the Bermuda houses. They all have white roofs and they're all different colors. They're beautiful. So that became my theme. Color palette was tropical fish and flowers and houses. And it was a whole lot of fun. So the background is, I did take a few. I didn't take the whole set, but I did take a few of these Neocolor 2s with me. And this page, what was the Chinese green and greenish blue. So these are the two colors that I used. That was a lot of fun. Had to wait for that to dry. I'm impatient. But anyhow, as a recent acquiring, I just couldn't leave without those. All right, so next I also have the two fish, two koi fish. Now these are just in pencil and a tiny little bit of the white pen before it died. Had fun with the shading, had fun with the color palettes, and yeah. And then another double page spread. She has a lot of double page spreads in this book. This was a jellyfish that I tried before I left home using my Crayola Super Tips. I also have a pastel set here, and I tried using the pastels and tried to do that for some basing, which I had never really done before with that kind of marker. I did have a little bit of bleed through because I think I just worked it too much. I was trying to also go back in with the water brush and dissolve some of the Super Tips, some of the ink, and it just wasn't working very well for me. So I did kind of touch it up a little bit with Neocolor 2s to get this background a little more even, and then continued on correcting everything for a long time with my pencils. So this was a lot of fun. There's not really any sparkle or anything on this, although the more I look at it, the more I think it needs it. Looking at the next one, which was the last one I did, it kind of makes me want to go back to this one and then do a little bit of that. So the last one in this book that I did on my trip, so this was, believe it or not, this was a buddy color with my best friend in Bermuda, and she lives there. She also loves that ocean theme, but she's not really a colorist. She's always been very creative and very craftsy, had not really ever colored. She's got a hand injury right now, but she did want to participate. I brought her her own copy of Rita Berman's Hidden Oceans, and she picked the page for us to do, and she picked this one. She also wanted to go by some inspiration, so we scrolled through Pinterest and found one that we really liked and had the colors that we really liked, and both used it as inspiration. So her page is a little bit different and she's still working on it. If I can get it from her soon, we'll see. I will post it next to mine. If not, I'm not sure when she'll finish it. She's so busy. She's getting her daughter to school right now, and we kept her very busy while we were there as well. So mine is finished. I'm a very fast colorist, and I really enjoyed this. And I think it has lots of pretty sparkle on it, lots of pretty color blending. Yeah, so I enjoyed that very much. All right. And actually, all the sparkle I was talking about, I'm actually thinking of a different page. This has a little more, many more colors blended all together, but I think I was thinking of the one in the Walk in Nature book. But we'll get to that in a bit. All right, so Tales from the Witches Cottage. There is a recent video. This is by Hannah Carlson. There's a recent video that's showing some backgrounds and how to use tracing paper. So after doing that video, I went in and kind of finished up both of those pages that I was talking about in the video. This one's not done, that's a work in progress. So this is an added background. I'll show next to it right here what it looked like before the background, so you can see all that I added in. But if you want to see all of my little tricks or hacks on using tracing paper, I was able to transfer some mushrooms from over here into here. And then the background is a drawing that I did that I transferred onto the page and then colored it. So the other one, where did it go? Is right here. So this is still a work in progress right here. So this one I had done the ink tints on half the background and showed you what it looked like before and after. And then I finished the page, added some white stars, finished her dress, finished the clouds. The clouds were actually kind of a mess. I had initially intended to do a chalk pastel or pan pastel area of cloud work. It was not opaque enough to cover anything. It wasn't working very well, so I painted it out and then did some chalk pastel blending with the paint. And then I also added quite a bit of the folk art extreme glitter because I just wanted her to look very like this is a special event. Like this is a very special, exciting thing. She's dressed to a T, everything's sparkly. I even put a face on the moon, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, so there we go. There she is, all cute and all finished there. And the rest of these, this is a progress book, work in progress book for me. I can't get my words today. So eventually I'll show you these other finished pages. And this one is a page that was a work in progress from last month that I just had done everything except the pan pastel background. And so I finally got up the courage to figure out what to do with my background and tried the pan pastels. And it's a little bit messy. I had a spot here that it just won't go away. It won't blend in. Might have gotten something on the paper or be a glitch in the paper a little bit. But this was a lot of fun. Just was kind of a quick fill in the background. Might go a little further with some of this edge border stuff when I do this side. But that's also a work in progress. So this book is pretty much a work in progress. Tales from the Witches Cottage by Hannah Carlson. And then, so I am just starting to color in some of the Egusa books. I do not have Leon's journey yet, but here is, I did it here because I'm going to open it. Kingdom of Curious Creatures. It took me a bit because I wanted to get to this book because I wanted to decide materials on this. So I am testing materials on this paper. So I did the initial title page. And this was with my Albert Durs. They are left dry. Just to see how I like them on this paper. When I had used my Prismacolors on another, or Polychromos or Prismacolors on another of Egusa's books, I wasn't quite happy. So I thought maybe I would try the Faber-Castell Albert Durs, see how I like them. Also had to decide what to do with the blank spaces in the background. So I just kind of filled them in with soft background suggestion of more grass and turned my ducks into mallards, turned my kitty into a ginger kitty. And that's about it. I did color this in as well. All right, so these are not activated with water. If I start doing that more in the rest of the book, then I will probably come back and also activate them with water. So that's kind of a pending decision. So next, I did do some pages in Johanna Basford books. So we'll start with Enchanted Forest. So this is an older book. I did get this book used. It had a little bit of coloring in it already, but not much, not bad. And this was one of the first ones I wanted to do. It was one of those that just kind of jumped out at me and I could see what I wanted to do with it. And just embrace the fall colors that I was envisioning for it. Maybe it's just because it's all leaves and mushrooms and things that it made just kind of a fall vibe for me. So there's a little bit of metallic pens here. It is once again the Albert Durs. And then I'm just really trying to get used to the Albert Durs and give them a fair shot. I do love my Prismacolors, but I just want to give them a fair shot and try. So here we have the Shuttle Art acrylic paint markers, metallic, and it's about 24 or 30 in the set. Now it comes with a swatch chart printed and a swatch chart that you can color onto, all labeled, and they have numbers, but there's no numbers on the markers. I've looked at the ends, I've looked at them with the caps off. I can't find numbers on them anywhere, so it really doesn't really help. I guess I could put stickers on them and try. But they've worked very well. They're very opaque. They're very smooth. They have a brush tip at one end and a dot tip at the other end. You can see that they've come in quite a few colors here. So I'll see. So like here, quite a few colors. So they've been very useful. Take that brush out of there. So they've been very useful, and I really have enjoyed these. I've used them on a couple different pages. So that's the only one in this book. And unless it's a project book, it's probably an untouched book. All of my books are pretty much untouched books this spring because I'm kind of new at this. Oh, so this is Johanna Basford's Magical Worlds. And I just wanted to get a couple things colored in here. So this was a cute little fun one. I was just feeling like coloring late one night, so I didn't want to tackle anything big. Cute little castle. It does have a little bit of the folk art extreme glitter around the edges. Some of my favorite colors in there. This is Inktense, but no. Hang on, no, that's Abergdur's, but Abergdur's not activated, but pretty colors, pretty. Okay, so then, oh, I need to write my name. Okay, let's find a pretty color. No, that's not what I thought I was grabbing. Okay. Okay, and to do that already. So, all right, I don't want that to rub off. So I'm just gonna put this here real quick, just in case. All right, so this was another quick color, just for fun. Abergdur's, not activated. And then, cute. I'm still working on gems. I like the cabochon type gems. These are kind of like crystals. I'm good at coins. I'm good at cabochons. I can handle gold. Faceted stones and crystals. I don't think I quite have it figured out yet. And then, I can't remember if I showed this. So this was either the end of last month or beginning of the next month, but it was right on the cusp of the two. And I think it's time I start dating these, because I think this was the previous month. But it was my first thing colored in those books. So, oh, and my daughter colored this. She enjoyed coloring with us on our trip and did this like right before we left. Okay. Balancing books. And then nearing the end here, Mythographic Fantasy Forest by Fabiana Attanasio. So this book has some very complicated images. And this was a work in progress from the previous month. But I finally wrapped this one up. This was mostly Inktense. And then all of the background and leaves were Inktense. And then I eventually came in and finished everything up with the polychromos. So I have a set of 30 in a travel set, in a roll, a wrap-up roll. So I have a set of 30 polychromos, and I kind of finished up all the doors. I wanted kind of a rainbow theme for the doors and the lights on to look nice and homey and warm inside, kind of in comparison or in contrast to it being all rainy and gray and dark and dull. So yeah, activated Inktense for the background, then polychromos for most of the rest of it. Yeah, I did enjoy the colors in the polychromos for doing wood. I really like that a lot. Okay, and then lastly, This is one of the last ones that I did this month. Let's see which one. Okay, yeah, so this one's a work in progress, not done, so we're not gonna stay there. I just used my little tags here. So this was a whole lot of fun. I am still on the ocean theme. It is still summer. So while I was on my trip, I took this one with me and did this while I was there. And I actually used a couple alcohol markers to base this and then took it with me. So I based this, the fish and some of the corals, a little bit of the shadows, and then I just took it with me and with my Albrecht finished shading things and then added lots of sparkle. So I took my gel pens for like the white gel pen, gold, silver. I took the Stardust set of gel pens, took my silver paint pen, took a gold paint pen, and this, it's mostly Stardust gel pens on this. Now the water is actually, wrong one. So I got this while I was in Bermuda. So we went to a craft store, a local art store. It's the only art store in town in Hamilton, and they're closing. So they were having a sale, so we had to stop by. So this was one of the things I got. Deco Art Galaxy Glitter, Milky Way Blue. So I just, you know, my favorite colors are purple and teal. So that just seemed perfect. I'm sure I'll get lots of use out of that. Galaxy glitter. And it's pretty sparkly. So that was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed that. I love doing fish. I love the ocean. I love fish, and I'm also Pisces. So it just fit. And then a work in progress that I worked on while I was there that I did take this book with me too, but the ocean book just won out because of where I was at. All right, so that is all I colored for July. I did forget one thing though. The turtle page, which I forgot completely about it, so I wanted to mention something. So this page is pretty much a multimedia page. It has everything thrown at it. So I use the Neocolor 2s for the background. I use white gel pen. I use pencils. But to base these turtles, while I was at that sale, that reminded me, while I was at that sale, they had Ecoline watercolor brush pens, which I have never owned. I have not seen them anywhere, and I've been wanting to try them. So I bought, they had other colors, but I knew I would use these. I didn't want to buy full sets. I mean, they weren't completely cheap. They were a couple dollars, like $2 or $3 a piece. I guess about $3 a piece. I like the Ecoline inks that I've used before, so I thought I would try them. They have a really nice brush tip, and I just really enjoyed those. So that's what I used this one to base the turtle. That's the color right there, pretty much the pale green. And it did not go through. Oh, can't even tell there, it's colored. But you can see here, it did not go through anywhere. So I will be using those again. I really like those, and I will be looking for more colors of these because it did blend very nicely. It blended better than the Crayola Super Tips, and it actually smoothed itself out and did some nice layering and blending that looked very watery, better than when I use alcohol markers. So yeah, and then the white pen for the little highlights, Albrecht for coloring it in. Yeah. So highly recommend. Ecoline brush pens, I highly recommend. All right, well, that is it for July. I've already started coloring for August, and I can't wait to show you what I color in August. And hope you're having a great summer. I'll see you soon. Bye.